Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to the program, Verses Through Voices. I'm your host, Muhammad. I'm really glad to be with you. Today we're going to listen to a recitation by Sheikh Kamil Yusuf al-Bahtimi, Surah Al-Ahzab, verses 33 to 34.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Sheikh Kamil Yusuf al-Bahtimi was one of the reciters of the golden age of recitation in Egypt. There was a specific period of time, a specific age, where a lot of reciters who were very good reciters emerged in this age. Reciters such as Sheikh Mustafa Ismail, Sheikh Muhammad Siddiq al-Minshawi, Sheikh Abdul Basit Muhammad Abdul Samad, Sheikh Abu al-Aynayn Shuaisha, and of course Sheikh Kamil Yusuf al-Bahtimi. They were all great reciters, legendary reciters, who will always be remembered for their recitations. Sheikh Kamil Yusuf al-Bahtimi was born in 1922 in a village called Bahtim of the Qalyubiyya Governorate in Egypt. When he was very young, he was able to recite the Quran very well as a child. He would recite the Quran and people would gather around him to listen to his recitation. He would even go to the mosque of his village to say the adhan. When he grew up, a person named Sheikh Muhammad al-Saifi heard that a good reciter was in Bahtim. So he went there and he took him to Cairo. Sheikh Muhammad al-Saifi, who was also a very good reciter of the first generation of reciters in Egypt, he was known as Abu al-Qurra. He was a person who was known for finding Quranic talents, and that is why he was called the father of reciters. So he took Sheikh Bahtimi to Cairo. He gave him a place to reside in, and he introduced him to people. And slowly, Sheikh Bahtimi, he gained fame. He became famous and started to recite the Quran in various mosques of Egypt, such as Masjid al-Imam al-Hussein and Masjid al-Sayyidah Zainab. He was poisoned in the year 1967 in one of the gatherings he was attending as a reciter. They poisoned his cup of coffee, and he was rushed to the hospital. But fortunately, he survived. But after this incident, his recitations were no longer as powerful as before. It is said that his studio recitations were just as powerful as his live recitations. This great reciter passed away in the year 1969 at the age of 47. May Allah bless him and reward him.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقرن في بيوتكن ولا تبرجن تبرج الجاهلية الأولى وأقمنا الصلاة
this segment of the program, we're going to analyze verses 33 to 34 of Surah Al-Ahzab in terms of the translation and also the commentary. Okay, at the beginning of this verse we have وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ لُولَا. It means Allah is addressing the wives of the Prophet. Okay, وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. Stay in your houses, okay? And do not display your finery and ornaments like at the time of the former days of ignorance. Because, before Islam, there was no hijab, okay? Women did not have hijab in the sense that they did after Islam. So they would display their ornaments and their finery. And, they would wear makeup, for example, and come out before men, and they didn't have proper hijab. Allah says in this verse that you should not do this. Is saying this to the wives of the Prophet. The wives of the Prophet are role models for other women as well. So when Allah is commanding the wives of the Prophet not to do this, He is in fact also telling other women not to do this. Okay? وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةِ. This is very important. Allah says that you, wives of the Prophet, you should uphold the prayer after you have considered your hijab, after you have observed your hijab. So this shows the importance of hijab and not displaying finery and ornaments for women. And then He says, وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةِ. So if a woman prays to Allah, prays on time, performs prayer 5 times a day, but does not have good hijab and shows her, her makeup and her finery and ornaments, such a woman is not an ideal believer. And then in this verse we have وَآتِينَ الزَّكَاةِ, and pay the zakat. Zakat is a special tax that everyone has to pay, but it also includes sadaqah, which means helping the poor, either by giving them money or food or otherwise. And وَآتِينَ الزَّكَاةِ وَأَطِعْنَا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, and obey the Prophet and his messenger. If we are truthful in obeying Allah, we should first obey the Prophet. Because if we say that we obey Allah but we don't obey the Prophet, we're lying. Anyone who claims to obey Allah should first obey the Prophet. In fact, obeying the Prophet is exactly like obeying Allah. Now in this part of the verse, things change. The tone changes. The pronoun changes. The verse reads, this part of the verse reads, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. عَنْكُمْ. Now this is a masculine pronoun. The previous pronouns were feminine. It was about the wives of the Prophet. But this part of the verse is not about the wives of the Prophet. It's about who? Ahlul Bayt. Who are the Ahlul Bayt? They are the household of the Prophet. At that time, they were 5 infallibles. Prophet Muhammad, Imam Ali, Lady Fatima Zahra, Imam Hassan, and Imam Hussein. This verse has been revealed in honor of these 5 infallibles, and of course, the remaining 14 infallibles. So, Allah says that He purifies these persons, these members of the household, with a thorough purification. It means that these people will never commit any sins in their life, and they will not make any mistake in their life, because they deserve to be purified, because they had the preparedness for being purified. Then the next verse says, and remember what is recited in your homes of the signs of Allah and wisdom. Indeed, Allah is all attentive, all aware. Here again, the pronoun changes to the feminine pronoun because Allah again is addressing the wives of the Prophet and not the Ahlul Bayt. Today we're going to be listening to a recitation, Surah Al-Ahzab, verses 33 to 34 by Sheikh Kamil Yusuf al-Bahtimi. Before we listen to this recitation, let's analyze this recitation in terms of Maqamat, the melodies and the musical modes that this reciter uses in his recitation. He begins with Maqam Ajam. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا. This is in Maqam Ajam. When he reaches the word تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى, this phrase, he reads it with Nahawand. So he combines two maqamat. He begins with Ajam and then he moves on to Nahawand. So we have a combination of Ajam and Nahawand. And this combination is so smooth. The transition from Ajam to Nahawand and Nahawand to Ajam and back to Nahawand is very smooth, and the untrained ear might not be able to tell the difference between these two maqams when they're used together. This is especially true when maqam Nahawand is the main maqam that is to be used. Shaykh Kamil Yusuf al-Bahtimi is reciting in the riwayah of Warsh an Nafi'. Warsh an Nafi' has certain characteristics. The first one is how he says Jahiliyati lula. We have naqla. He doesn't say Jahiliyatil ula. He says Jahiliyati lula. We have the Maddul Badal ula. He lengthens this mad to 4 vowel counts, and it's optional. Maddul Badal is optional. You can lengthen it to 2, 4, or 6 vowel counts in Warsh an Nafi'. And he also says ula. He does not say ula, ula. He says ula. This is called taqleel, which is another characteristic of Warsh an Nafi'. Then he says وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةِ, and he stops on the 5th note of Maqam Nahawand. Okay? And he recites it in such a way as if he wants to depict how the prayer should be upheld. He says, وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةِ وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةِ. It's as if he's saying, الصَّلَاةِ قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةِ. So you have a rising intonation when you say قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةِ or when you say salah. He also does the same thing. He has a rising intonation on the word as-salah. Then he reads وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةِ وَآتِينَا الزَّكَاةِ وَأَطِعْنَا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. He recites this in Jawab of Nahawand, and he gets really close to Jawab al-Jawab of Maqam Nahawand. When he reaches the part of the verse which is about the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, he changes the maqam to Ajam, only Ajam. He doesn't combine Ajam with Nahawand or any other maqam. He only recites this part of the verse using maqam Ajam because this is a difference. This is about the Ahlul Bayt. It's no longer about the wives of the Prophet, and that is why he changes the maqam to Ajam. And on the word Ahlul Bayt, he lays an emphasis on this word. Ahlul Bayti wa yuta. See, Ahlul Bayti wa yutahhirakum tatahira. He wants to make the Ahlul Bayt stand out. And that's why he places the stress on the Ahlul Bayt. And then the next verse, he changes back to Maqam Nahawand because this time it's about the wives of the Prophet. It's not about the Ahlul Bayt. So this is a very good way to convey the meanings of the verses of the Quran using the Maqamat. Okay, dear viewers, now it's time to listen to Surah Al-Ahzab, verses 33 to 34, recited by Sheikh Kamil Yusuf al-Bahtimi.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقرن في بيوتكن ولا تبرجن تبرج الجاهلية الأولى وأقمنا واذكرن ما يتلى في بيوتكن من آيات الله والحكمة إن الله كان لطيفا خبيرا.
صدق الله العلي العظيم. ذكر وموعظة ونور فيه شفاء للصدور وشفيعنا يوم النشور. آياته تروي المدى وصفاته